Hey guys, welcome back to Slide B. I am your host Connor. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look into more of the free agents for this upcoming class and where I think they might be winding up at the start of the 2026 season. Before we get going, just a reminder that if you don't see somebody in this video that you want to know where I think they might wind up, check the first video, and if they're not on the first or the second video, then comment down below and I'll cover them in the third, promise. But without further ado, let's get to number one. Number one is going to be Eugenio Suarez, the third baseman. Fantastic power bat, really strong, definitely going into this offseason. Not as strong as he could be. He had a great year overall, but after he got traded to Seattle from Arizona, kind of suffered a little bit. I think he only hit 13 home runs with them as opposed to like 35 or 36 with the Diamondbacks. That being said, he is going to have a pretty solid market. I don't think it's going to be a long-term one considering his age, but a short-term, kind of little bit higher AAV contract is in order here, and I think there's a few teams that might be interested in that. Number one being the Los Angeles Angels. Now, last episode I mentioned their gap at third base, considering who hasn't played in several years, and I think Eugenio Suarez could be the guy to fill it. They are shockingly competitive, and I feel like it's not out of the question for them to add a third base power bat to really bolster that lineup. Number two, I am thinking the Detroit Tigers. They're going to be in on Bregman, and like I said in the last video, I have him going back to the Red Sox, but if they can't get him, I feel like Eugenio Suarez could be the next best thing for them. And lastly, I'm going to kind of go a little bit out of pocket here. Paul DePodesta just took over in Colorado, and they have been a franchise that's been longing for something to root for. I could see Eugenio Suarez being a couple year stopgap just to give people something to enjoy. Now, I don't know if he would sign there just out of the fact they are not competitive at all, but when you think about it, wouldn't he be really good in Coors Field? Next on the list is infamous power bat and clubhouse lovable dude, Kyle Schwarber. Great year last year, 56 home runs, I believe, and about 100 and something RBIs, probably in the 120s, 130s. Great year for him. He can't field for shit, but if you have a DH spot open, you would be stupid to not be looking at Kyle Schwarber. Now, a couple teams I think he might be going in on. I feel like, just to get out of the way, the Phillies are the people that are going to be winning him. That being said, if we're looking for someone else, the Texas Rangers need to get back in the show. They need to get back into things. But the only reason I'm not putting them as a genuine contender is because recently we've heard rumors about them needing to dump salary and payroll, and I just don't see them going in on somebody like Schwarber who's going to demand a pretty sizable contract. For the same reason, I am going to kind of veto my own thoughts that I had written down for the Cincinnati Reds. Doesn't make sense for them, especially now there's rumors of Hunter Green being in the trading block. So just to keep it simple, Kyle Schwarber back to the Philadelphia Phillies. So number three is a guy that I really enjoyed watching in my past year working with the Yankees in the Bronx, Cody Bellinger. Now, he was awesome last year. I believe he had about a 5 WAR, looking at 29 home runs and just a little below 100 RBIs. He was the number two guy behind Aaron Judge this year, and I love him to death. But that being said, just for the sake of argument, let's just put him on the Mets. I feel like Cody Bellinger's made for New York. He loves the big market, and the Mets are looking for outfielders. And number two, the Yankees. I mean, going back to the Yankees is kind of a no-brainer for him. However, with what Brian Cashman recently said about Jason Dominguez, and obviously the Trent Grisham qualifying offer situation, I feel like the Yankees might be a little bit further out on Bellinger. So with those two out of the way, I feel like the Phillies might actually be a great fit for all the reasons I said before about big markets, and they desperately need an outfielder. Cody Bellinger would be an awesome piece for them. Harrison Bader, I don't think, is going to repeat. He's another one of those guys that loves the big market. But I heard somebody say you date Harrison Bader, you don't marry him. Cody Bellinger is a player that you marry, especially when you're going to the postseason. So Cody Bellinger to the Phillies, I feel, just makes sense. Number four is going to be Pete Alonso, polar bear himself. Coming off of an almost 40 home run season with the New York Mets, he did his thing again, as he always does. So just to get out of the way, I feel like he's going back to the Mets. I think no matter what the circumstances are, the Mets are going to meet him in the middle. But just for the sake of throwing out a couple alternatives, the San Francisco Giants I could see being interested. He would fit in perfectly there, and a corner infield duo of Chapman and Alonso would be dangerous if both of them are on at the same time. Maybe the Red Sox I feel like could be a good fit for him, especially because I've been hearing rumors from insiders regarding Tristan Casas being traded. How true that is, I have no earthly idea. But if that does happen, Pete could be a guy over there to be a veteran presence for those younger people in the event that Bregman is kind of taken away, maybe by even Detroit. So with those options taken into account, again, I think the New York Mets are going to land Pistol Pete. It's going to be an inevitability at this point. Dylan Cease. The story of Dylan Cease is inconsistency. He's just not doing too hot. That being said, I don't think he's a lost cause. I think a team that has a decent pitching development core could be a really, really good fit for him. And the New York Mets have been developing pitchers like nobody's business. Jonah Tong, outstanding development cycle. It feels like a really good fit for him. And if someone get him back on top, I feel like it could be the New York Mets. Besides them, the Los Angeles Angels, they love their veteran pitchers. Maybe a guy like Dylan Cease could be a fit for them, take them to that next level that I said they could potentially get to. Again, I feel like the Angels are slept on, but I've said this before. Maybe I'm just too bullish on the Angels. At the end of the day, though, I feel like the Baltimore Orioles are a great fit for him. They need pitching, especially considering the Grayson Rodriguez trade that just happened recently. They are hurting bad, but they do have the budget to get somebody like Dylan Cease to help the front end of that bullpen, or the middle lower half of the rotation until you get him going again. So let's just say, for the hell of the game, wow, not love of the game. I'm going to leave that in, that's funny. But Dylan Cease to the Baltimore Orioles. So that is it for episode number 2 of my free agent prediction series. Where do you guys think these people are going to go? Who else do you want me to take a guess at? Leave it in the comments down below. As always, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. It truly is appreciated and is a great help. But besides that, until next time, peace.